And the next thing I want to do for a little bit is actually sit down with Larry and interview him so you guys can learn more about microgreens, more about the work that he does here to teach you guys about the microgreens, how you guys can actually come here and get a full 2-day training. And I've never really said this before, but there's a lot of different gizmos and gadgets and round barrels with different slots you can buy for like $400 to grow food in, right? I'll tell you guys this. If you guys are serious about growing food, the $1,000 you spend with Larry to get a setup and get 2 days of full training here with him is probably the best $1,000 you will ever spend on your own food, because this can be done anywhere. It's guaranteed you're going to succeed with all these holes in the sides, right? Look, you really can't grow as much volume of food as you grow with the microgreens. All right, so here's some microgreens that Larry said I could eat here, and these guys are the kohlrabi. I encourage you guys to grow kohlrabi microgreens, and here are some kale microgreens. Now, my favorite way to eat these is probably not going to be your favorite. It's just like this. You go to the living microgreens while they're still alive, still growing, water's dripping out the bottom. You can see all the roots there, and I just take my mouth and I go, huh. This is the best way in the world to eat your food, right? How do animals in nature eat the food? Do they have things out of the refrigerator? Do they have things out of packaged in bottles and jars? No. The deers of the woods go to your trees, your citrus trees, and just eat the leaves right off the plant as they're still living. So this by far is the best way to eat them. That being said, you might be calling me a caveman or something. So what most normal people do is they would actually just flip this off and then add it on top of salads, add it as a topping. I would just, if I had this many microgreens, I would make a microgreen salad every day. My goal every day is to eat 2 pounds of leafy greens, whether that's microgreens or big leafies from my garden. Greens are probably one of the most healing foods on the entire planet, especially these guys, which are the cruciferous greens. They have properties called isothiocyanates. They've studied broccoli. John Hopkins, studied broccoli, and it's an anti-cancer food, right? And also these guys are also anti-aging as well, and will help actually keep you young at the same time. So now I'm here with Larry, the owner and farmer here at City Hydro, and this is one amazing place you got here, Larry.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, no worries. It's been a pleasure to coming out, talking with you, and showing you guys out there what he's got going on here, which is totally amazing. So, Larry, the first question I have for you is, why did you start all this? I kind of went into a little bit of that earlier, but why did you start growing microgreens as a business, actually, to sell to people? But not just that, spread the information of microgreens as an open source model, provided you're accredited, and also help others grow their own microgreens, whether they're people at home or, somebody wants to start a good business, or whether it's a chef in their restaurant who could start up a rack and harvest the freshest food for their customers.
Right, so back in 2011, I was rear-ended while stopped in traffic by somebody traveling about 65 miles an hour, and I thought, what the hell am I going to do for an income? And my wife came home with these tomatoes from Whole Foods at $7 a pound, and I thought, I can grow those. So we started trying to grow tomatoes under LED lights, and there's just not enough power to grow the LED lights under tomatoes under LED lights. You need the sun. And so then I thought, oh, lettuces, we're going to grow lettuces. Everybody's growing lettuces. We can make money growing lettuces. So we had this entire room full of lettuces.
This room right here.
This room right here. We harvested it, went to the farmer's market, and got $35.
Wow, man, you're rich.
And I thought, that ain't going to do it. And the whole time, Jonna, my wife, is saying to me, Larry, you should look at microgreens. So after the farmer's market and everything, I looked at her and said, Jonna, we're going to grow microgreens. What do you think? She hit me right up in the head, and she goes, great idea, microgreens.
That guy is always a hard-headed one. Maybe sometimes it's a girl too.
Right? So we started growing microgreens, and I used to be a chef, so I knew that I wanted everything to be food safe, and I wanted everything to be pristine and clean, and everything had to be able to be used in the kitchen, so no soil could be used. And the first client we brought it to, he looked at me and he said, these are living. And I'm like, yeah, you got to come to order. And he said, I get to use them all? I got half of them are rotting and stuff? And I said, yeah, 100% utilization. And after that chef, after he did one gig showing our microgreens, we went off to the races.
Wow. So is it true that, you got so much business here that you're full to capacity, you can't grow anymore, and that you actually only sell in your zip code. So this is like a micro farm, only serving his literally immediate area.
Right, so we actually have a microcarbon footprint, which means we only sell within inside of our zip code, and our concept was to empower other people to grow. So people will call me and say, hey, I want to grow, I need some clients and stuff like that. So we not only train people how to grow, we'll also refer clients to them. Like a chef will call me from DC. We don't service DC. And I'll say, wait a minute, I got a grower in Rockville that'll service DC. So we turn them over to DC, we turn that chef over to this guy, and he starts to grow with it. Same way we have a grower called Summer Rocco here in Baltimore. Her husband came to me and said, hey Larry, we're doing 12 trays a week from your microgreens, I need to double my order. And I said, oh, chef, I can't do the order, I don't have the capacity. I said, I'll tell you what, we'll teach your wife to grow, we'll set up a burrow for your wife, and she can sell the microgreens back to your restaurant. And he said, you're going to give me a business? I said, yeah. I said, but I'm going to make money, I'm going to sell you the equipment, I'm going to sell you the coconut fiber, of course. But now he grows his own microgreens, sells them to the restaurant, sells them to the restaurants in DC. She probably makes more than he does.
Wow, amazing. And that's why I'm so excited about this episode, because, you know, as you guys know, I'm an entrepreneur, right? And if you guys need a juicer, this is a shameless plug, if you guys need a juicer, blender, dehydrator, please support me by making your discount juicers.com. That's how I'm able to travel around to all these places and make cool videos with people like Larry. But not only is Larry an entrepreneur, but he's empowering you guys to be an entrepreneur. This is what really and truly is going to make America strong again, not some puppet dude at the freaking government. Anyway, we don't talk about politics in this episode. But anyways, yeah, that's what's going to make America strong, is by all of us having our own business, being independent from the man, so you guys can work just a few hours a day. And actually, Larry, how many hours do you work a day doing all this, making over 100,000 a year?
So I work about 3 to 4 hours a day, but the only thing is it's 7 days a week. So growing microgreens is like having children. You got to take care of them.
But at least they don't talk back.
That's true. They don't talk back. But you got to water them every day. You can't miss a day of watering. So that's the only caveat. That's a little bit of a, I don't say a pain, but a commitment, is to be there 24/7, 7 days a week for the microgreens. And if you got a child, you want to go for the weekend, you have him water, right?
As long as they know how to do it and not mess up.
Right.
I mean, yeah, just like any business, though, you need to pay attention to your business, or it's going to get away from you, you know. Even though I work my own business, you know, I'm literally on call 24/7 to answer emails and handle customer service issues and do what I need to do to make it happen, if that's what's important to you. Because surely, you know, I do not want to go to a job where I got to be there at a certain time and clock out and not even get paid what I'm worth, right? So I really want to encourage you guys to, you know, take up Larry on this opportunity. If you guys are looking for something, you know, I visited so many different farms and so many different, you know, things you could do in farming to make money, you know, farm other people's lands in their front yard, their backyard, and all these kind of things. Man, that's too much work, way too much work. Much easier to invest. Literally, for $1,000 starting, you could get set up with a kit and get 2 days of training with Larry. So Larry, do you want to explain that to my viewers?
Right, so we sell it, we sell you a rack. The rack's about $1,200 complete. Then you get 2 days of free training. So you come here for a day, you learn all about the system, you learn about our substrate, you learn about the water systems we use. My wife teaches you how to cut the mats, how to process the mats and all that stuff. The next day you come back, we teach you how to seed, we teach you how to sell, we teach you how to water. In 2 days, you get the full training for $1,200 with a rack. And what we tell people is, don't buy a whole grow room. Don't invest $10,000 unless you got it, unless you want to. Buy one rack. Get that one rack going. Get clients for that one rack. Make money doing that, and then say, hey, I need another rack. Because it's modular. You can build your system as you go. You don't have to put up $15,000 to buy a grow operation. You can buy one rack at a time and go from there.
Right, exactly. And $1,200 is with the rack, and if you don't want to get the rack and source your own rack, it's $1,000. So that's what I would personally do and recommend it for you guys. But some of you guys don't want to hassle with having to figure out the rack and all this kind of stuff. So Larry will provide that for you. So man, I think that's an amazing business opportunity. I know a lot of you guys have $1,000 available on your credit line and your credit card, so you can charge it and start your own business today. And in addition, you know, Larry has additional training. Growing the microgreens is one thing that he'll set you up on and train you guys to do, but selling it is a whole other thing, and that's an accessory that Larry will also literally take you guys around for a week and show you guys going out on sales calls and following up and how to sell at farmers markets. I talked to this guy for a while. He's got all the tips and tricks down. Anyways, Larry, I want to talk to you more about actually the product you've grown here. So sure. Are the microgreens you're growing, are they organic?
Yeah, so we had an issue with organic, and being as we grow hydroponics,